Hi guys, I'm Faida and welcome to Freedom is Mine. Today we're going to be talking about the African diaspora in the Dominican Republic.
Freedom is mine.
For the first time ever in this series, I'm bringing you a video about an African diaspora community from the country itself. I'm currently in the Dominican Republic organising an African diaspora tour for 2021, so if you're interested in joining, then please do get in touch. Quantifying the number of Afro-Dominicans is not straightforward for the reason of self-identification. The 1960 census was the last to collect racial data and recorded almost 11% of the population as Black or Afro-descendant. However, contemporary leading Dominican scholar Silvio Torres Sayant estimates that in reality, Blacks and mulattoes make up 90% of the country's population. Afro-Dominicans mostly speak Spanish and are Roman Catholic by faith, though through a process of syncretism, voodoo and santeria are also practiced in the Republic. But first, a little geography lesson. For those who don't know, Haiti and the Dominican Republic share the same island. The island is called Hispaniola and is located in the Caribbean Sea, to the east of Cuba and Jamaica. The Dominican Republic occupies the eastern majority of the island, and Haiti occupies a third of the island to the west. Because the two countries share an island, much of their history is deeply intertwined, and not always in a good way. Check out my video on the African diaspora in Haiti for more info. It was in the Dominican Republic that the Spanish conquistadors, led by Christopher Columbus, founded the first Spanish colony in the New World in 1493. The Spanish first began trafficking enslaved Africans to Hispaniola in the early 1500s to replace the enslaved indigenous Taino workforce, whose numbers had been decimated under the Spanish settlers' brutal regime. Slave rebellions were documented from as early as 1522, when enslaved Africans rose up and escaped to the mountains to form maroon communities. Enslaved Africans on Hispaniola predominantly worked in mines and on plantations, cultivating sugar, tobacco, and livestock. A number of buildings in the colonial zone of the capital, Santo Domingo, were built by an enslaved African workforce, including the monastery of San Francisco, the first European hospital, San Nicolás de Bari, and the Basilica of Santa Maria la Menor, the oldest European cathedral in the Americas. In 1697, the western portion of the island, known as modern-day Haiti, came under French colonial rule. Inspired by the French Revolution, Black and Afro-descendant inhabitants of Hispaniola, both free and enslaved, were inspired to take up arms in 1791, led by Haitian revolutionary leader Toussaint Louverture. Although he died before the conflict ended, his second-in-command, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, led the rebellion to victory in 1804, and slavery was formally abolished in Haiti. Slavery resumed in the Dominican Republic due to Spanish intervention, but was abolished again in 1822, when the Dominican Republic came under Haitian rule under the Haitian president, Christophe Boyer. Haiti ruled the Dominican Republic for 22 years. During Haitian occupation of the Dominican Republic, there was a wave of migration of free African Americans who settled in the Samana region of the country, and many of whose descendants to this day speak fluent English. On the 27th of February 1844, the Dominican Republic declared independence from Haiti under the leadership of the three founding fathers, Francisco de Rosario Sanchez, Ramon Matias Mella, and most famously, Juan Pablo Duarte. Every year on the 27th of February, Dominicans celebrate their independence from Haiti. Marred by that period of history, Dominican-Haitian relations have always remained tense. One particularly dark moment in the relationship between the two countries was the Parsley Massacre, carried out in 1937 under the bloodthirsty Dominican dictator Rafael Trujillo. Trujillo ruled the Dominican Republic for over 30 years, from 1930 until his assassination in 1961. He was a violent despot who was staunchly anti-Haitian and orchestrated one of the worst massacres in Dominican history. Trujillo said of Haitians, of pure African race, they cannot represent for us any ethnic incentive. During the Parsley Massacre, Trujillo ordered an attack on the Haitian border, which left 20 to 30,000 Haitians dead over a period of 6 days, including thousands of women and children. They were mostly killed by machete, shovel, and bayonet. Today, hostility from Dominicans towards Haitians in part manifests itself in rampant colorism. For those who don't know, colorism can be broadly defined as discrimination against people of a darker skin tone by others within the same racial group. In other words, lighter skinned black people discriminating against darker skinned black people. Many Dominicans seek to distance themselves from their darker skinned Haitian counterparts, as well as from their own African roots and heritage. Most Dominicans will refer to themselves as moreno, meaning dark-skinned, instead of negro, meaning black. The majority of Afro-descendant Dominican women prefer to chemically straighten their hair rather than wear their natural curls. That said, African influences are still clear to see in some aspects of Dominican culture, and small pockets of Dominican society proudly maintain their African roots. One such example is the Congos of Villa Maya, a collection of communities based in Villa Maya, a suburb just outside of the capital Santo Domingo, descended from the Congo region in Africa. The Congos of Villa Maya are united by a religious collective known as the Cofradía del Espíritu Santo, or the Brotherhood of the Holy Spirit, pioneered by Afro-Dominican musician Sixto Minier. In 2001, the movement was declared an expression of intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO. Today, in Villa Maya, the Congos keep the traditions alive through their music, dance, and religious practices. We visit the Congos of Villa Maya as part of my African Diaspora tour in the Dominican Republic, so if you're interested, then get in touch. African heritage in the Dominican Republic can be seen in traditional foods such as mondongo, concon, ñame, and mangú, as well as the Dominican musical genre bachata, and African-influenced religions such as Santeria and Voodoo, which are practiced on the island. One notable bastion of African heritage is the Dominican Carnival, which takes place every year across February and March. Every Sunday for a month, there are parades and celebrations across the country. The oldest and most established carnival is held in La Vega, where the brightly colored costumes depicting mythical creatures and monsters are descended from Dominican folklore. Popular characters from the Dominican Carnival include the Diablo Cojuelo, the Limping Devil, the Robagainas, the Chicken Stealer, and the Tiznaos, a homage to their African ancestry. There is a burgeoning movement among millennial Dominicans to embrace their African heritage, such as the blogger Indhira Suero Acosta, who hosts a blog called La Negrita Come Coco, or the natural hair salon Mis Rizos, established by Lena Contreras, which specializes in natural hair and African-influenced hairstyles. Slowly but surely, there's a growing movement amongst the younger generations to acknowledge and take pride in Afro-Dominican identity.
Freedom.